Hey everybody, WindDrakeHex here doing a live draft commentary on Hex TCG MMO. First pick one, pack one, we're going to do Brood Count, which is a 10-5 with Crush. Doesn't do damage to face, but converts that damage into Spider Generation, which is quite strong. Pretty much a perfect enabler, an incredible stabilizer, and also just an all-around threat, a must deal with from your opponent. So I wouldn't quite call it a bomb because it can't win the game necessarily on its own, but it's pretty darn close. Second pick, nothing even remotely as exciting. Pick two, you're not really trying to like follow up and build upon a particular archetype yet. You're just trying to pick the best cards. Um, Lyrical Chanter is really interesting here. Now, there is a really sub-fringe archetype called the Chant deck, which basically you're just creating a critical mass of chants like these, and they all trigger each other and do dumb, broken things. It's a lot of fun. I kind of want to try it, even with set 3. It was pretty viable when it was triple set 4 during release. I may or may not go for it, but this is kind of the best card in the pack, or at least a good early enough to like try to go for a funky strategy like that. The idea is just have a bunch of chance and removal, and just kind of like win a long drawn out game. It may or may not be possible, but it's something to keep an eye out for. Arendelle's Sentinel, speed. When the centers play, another target troop you control gains +2/+2 for each elf you control this turn. This troop gets crush. Um, so this is like the elf tribal WinCon. Um, it has a very good card tacked onto it. 3/3 for 7 obviously isn't good, but you're kind of trying to like alpha swing and do big nasty stuff. I wonder if there's an actual card that we should be playing. We could pick the Priest of the Sacred Web to go with Spiders. I'm already feeling the burn to go Chant. I know it's probably going to be open, and this is a good reason to go in the Chant, be able to get 2 to 4, or get, yeah, 2 random chants. It's pretty strong. The right pick is probably Priest, but I'm not even sure Spiders is open, and I like to play funky decks, and it'd be kind of fun. Well, okay, now we're starting to get some reasons to be in Spiders. Hatchery Tormentor is very good. Um, it's very easy to turn it on, and then generate all those spiders. You know, I think I may sit back here. I may actually. Well, we also see some Spell Matters cards, Ashwood Cinderspunt, and the second Embertongue Scarn. So we actually end up hurting ourselves if we do go all in on Constance. I don't think we need to yet. If Constance is open, which it should be, um, they'll wheel. It would be a lot of fun. I want to try it. This is a competitive draft. It'd probably be a better strategy to do in a Swiss. Um, but at the end of the day, it's still early enough. We're just, oh, okay. Well, so Constant would be open, but look what else is open. So I love Damage Matters decks, or Action Matters deck, and Flickering Gobbler is just insane. The problem is, well, we also see a Skarnbreath too. Jeez, oh. Okay, so this pack's insane. So clearly, this is also like a first pickable card in Spiders. It being able to basically create spiders and mill just keeps the synergy train rolling for your deck. But Gobbler, Scarn Breath. The reason why I'm not just jumping into Gobbler is because I already have 2 pretty good spider cards. But those are some like incredibly strong signals. And that was probably the time because now my opponent's probably going to jump into it to my left. So that was probably the time to jump in the damage matters or spells matters. Um, and this card would have been pretty good in there too, making a bunch of chills. This is a great finisher for that deck. So clearly that's open. Our compensation, this is Skitter. It's pretty good too, not gonna lie. Renlock's Apprentice is good and action matters. But we've stepped out into the deep end here. We've made a decision. We've made a choice. We picked spiders for better or for worse. Um, Not exactly sure if that's the right decision. Spiders is always it's still a staple. It's still one of the strongest archetypes. Um, but seeing a Scarn Breath and a Gobbler in the same pack, and then followed up by two more really good Action Matters cards, makes me a little hesitant because Spiders has a tendency to drying up because it's such a popular archetype. Maybe that's changed a little bit in Set 4. I don't know. I pretty much need a good. Well, I was going to say I pretty much need some good Spider signals here to feel better. And I got some. Now, Spiders isn't the craziest in action based stuff. I mean, yeah, if you're playing Brood Bounty, which you probably would, because you want the combo with Hatchery Malvoker. If you guys don't know, Hatchery Malvoker just generates 3 spiders anytime you play an action. This card's also really good in spiders in action matters. Macromits is definitely a card you want to play in spiders because you want to stabilize and win the game. I think I'm trying to cut spiders as best as I can. And as we can see, though, if we just want it to go, well, let's take the Furry Chant here. I know, bleed out, but you know what? I still want to. Like the reason I was going to go in the chant on the off chance is that if a bunch of them wheel, then I could just pick them up for cheap. So that's already. We're not going to play chant, and bleed out was probably a pretty good card. But I would like bleed out is a conditionally great card. It's a it's an okay to bad card. It's not always worth a card, in that sometimes your opponent just can sack off something they don't care about. But look what we got. 2 Fury Chants. Oh my god, what are you doing to me? Alright, so clearly this is the best pick for our deck. But if we want to go Chance, I'm telling you, man, we could do it. We could do it. We could do it. Oh my god. Okay. Relax, John. That was hard. Okay, so I'm trying to help new drafters. So basically, you got to pick an archetype. By the end of pack 1, you should pretty much know what your archetype is. If you don't know what the archetypes are, learn them. It's step 1. You shouldn't even draft unless you know what the potential decks are to draft. It's not always like super apparent. So this is a hate card, right? Darkfield Tailcutter, probably better in my deck. But here's where I want to pick up a chant, just in case things super dry up. That's already 1, 2, 3, 4 chants. And we'll probably just get like 15. You know what? I really should just do chant. Why not? Who cares? We get knocked out. It'd be fun to watch. But we do have a pretty solid base for spiders. We got a great enabler, a really efficient enabler, another efficient enabler. So we got and then this card wheeled, pretty strong indicator that spiders is probably the thing to do. Though I really want to play chant. Is there a way to go with spider chant? If I had a lot of good enablers, nah, there wouldn't be, because you want to play like 12 chants to really go off on chants. And really, what I noticed, the key chants are Fury and the one that makes tutus. And then, of course, this guy, just because, he makes a bunch of chants. But look at that. We'll pick up a chant nonetheless. So we're kind of wasting, like, what we normally be picking dregs and sideboard stuff with chants. Because I don't know if you could tell, I really want to play chants. Damn it. Okay, so this is a good card. Time Flux is good. And Brood Bounty is good. I think I'm going to play the Brood Bounty here just because it synergizes a little better, and tempo isn't necessarily a thing that Spiders needs. Though there's definitely nothing wrong with playing a couple Time Fluxes. In fact, if my deck kind of sucks, it's because normally you'd pick up the Time Fluxes and board them in when you need them. But I'm picking Death Chance because I want an excuse to go Chance. Right now our chance is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a good chant card, especially if you need the fixing. Does a little damage to finish the game. Alright, so it looks like Action Matters dried up, which it should. I think the guy to my left should definitely be Action Matters. It's a Venom. Or is it a spider? Looks like a spider. And it's a spider. So it doesn't turn on Venom. Does this guy care about spiders? And we would have picked that up anyway. I think we picked a chant over this. But Vile Thing, Therouge. It's pretty sweet. Starlight Pathfinder. If it's worth money, we'll pick it. Maybe. Big time, maybe. Or we'll just take some chance. Look out. Chance coming through. Probably going to be a Hatchery Malvoker, which is really going to put a lot of pressure on us. Picking, getting some quality actions in this deck. Okay, so what are we looking at? Let's do... I like to do Hex Primal. It's slow. We may miss our pick. What is this card called? Starlight Pathfinder? No. Come on, Hex. Starlight. Oh my god. Okay, it's worth... it's probably going for $1. Is that better than another Evoker? Yeah, I'll take $1 over an Evoker. I haven't looked at if it's splashable yet. Probably. Okay, so this pack sucks. Oops, spoke too soon. Good enabler, evasive threat. It's obviously going to fly. Other good cards in the pack. This is a great Action Matters card. I've had so much success with Hired Horn Hunter. There's another Chant. Kind of wish we would have picked up the Time Fluxes, but I'm still living the Chant dream. It should be over. If you're brand new, you should not be wasting picks on Plan B. If you have cards that can go in your deck, even if those are going to be sideboard choices, Time Flux is definitely justifiable to go in your main deck. It's a big tempo gain. Sometimes you need that revert. Blah blah blah. But like I said, sometimes I like to have fun, and I'm not abandoning what is clearly a relatively open archetype of spiders right now. So, like, we got our Brood Counts, we got our Tormentors, we got our Azure Fangs, we got Skitter, we have 2 Azure Fangs. You know what I'm saying? So, I know Chance is fun, and we would have had 3 Fury Chances. That's probably enough to win a draft. Honestly, we're going to go for something a little more consistent. Maybe. Here's the problem with Chance, is that Pack 3 doesn't have the support for Chance like Set 4 does, like Packs 1 and 2 do. So that's why that is pretty much the reason why. But as you can tell, this deck doesn't have any removal. Like, somebody that's playing Damage Matters or something, some blood-based strategy is picking up all the removals. So we're kind of SOL. This guy's really good in Chance too. I know I should drop it, but it could bounce back a Chant, replay it. Fun times. But this card's great. This is actually, with 2 Evokers, we love Azure Fang. So that's an 8 spider swing and a mill for 5. We have 2 Evokers, so it could be an 11 spider swing. Sweet. Also, the 3/3 that bounces could be pretty good because we have triggers when Venom interplay. We need removal. We're really not getting it. This makes me a little sad. This is an action. Draw cards. I like it because it's an action. I like drawing cards. I don't know if I like taking damage as a control deck. And we have no removal. This card's just a big flyer, which is sometimes really necessary. But I'm gonna be a little... I mean, we're getting pretty, like, emergency status on our removal. Like, we have none. And, honestly, our deck isn't insane. It's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong, but the more Hatchery Tormentor makes it good, like, instantly. Whoever's playing else, man. 2 Airedales, woo, it's pretty good. So anyway, you can see our generation's pretty good. Our mill's poor, but that's to be expected. And set 4, there's just not a lot of great mill. I mean, this does a little bit of mill. This is pretty much, where's the premier mill card in set 4? Azurfang Decree. That's pretty much it. But everybody wants to play those because it just does good stuff. I mean, you don't even need to be in spiders. Chill is not something we can play. We may need this for like sideboard against aggro for the -1/-1. Really boring pick, but Susain's fine. I'd rather have an Epiphany, honestly, but it's fine. And things are settling down. So this is a good card. It's a 1/3 for 2, which is really good for spiders. Milling yourself kind of sucks, but not really. Um, Sometimes it's beneficial. It's a little bit of mill. It's a good stabilization card. It's kind of the main reason. I was going to be kind of happy playing a Recoiler, getting a little cute with comboing with Azurfang, but I think this is a straight up pretty good pick. It's on curve. You want early cheap stabilization effects in spiders. That's why all the 1/4s and Armies of Myth are so good. Not only do they synergize late game, but they help you stabilize early game, which is pretty important. This card's pretty nasty. I haven't seen it go off yet, but theoretically it looks pretty good. Hatchery Malvoker. Alright, we're going to play 3 Hatchery Malvokers. Oh, I thought I picked up another one. Oh well, I have 2. So we really need action. So we need those Vampire Kisses, we need those Paraphages, we need those Cripples. Pretty much, that's what we're going to be prioritizing pack 3. Should probably clean up a little bit. This is probably going to be a sideboard card. Bleed Out's going to be a sideboard card because I don't want to main deck it and play like Spiders or something. Obviously, we're going to put Chant to bed. Sorry, Chant. You would have been pretty good when all is said and done. We probably would have, if we would have prioritized it, we would have hit 12. And then we would have been kind of get the pick of the litter, pack 3. That being said, I think Big Dumb Spider, because it flies, and I don't have a ton of evasion right now, I'm not really worried about winning with evasion. I'm more worried about not losing to my opponent's evasion. It's not really defensive, but it can trade with like the 5 drops of the flyers of the land. And if I'm really in the market for bounce, I'd rather there's better stuff in pack 3. All right, so I'm gonna pick this. Why? Because it says Venom, and maybe it flies every once in a while, but mainly because it says Venom. Because I have 2 of these guys. With 2 Azurfang Hierarchs, you pretty much just want everything in your deck to say Venom on it. Some of you that watched my last video are like, "What the heck, man? Spiders again?" Sorry, I just record whatever I can get, right? So it was unintentional. Let's say Spider or Venom. I think I may sideboard this. It's just not quite what Spiders really wants to do. So this card's cool. This may help synergize. This may be a really big turn. Set up a big turn 4. I know this card's cool and all, gaining life and being evasive, but for synergy purposes, I think Runlocks could be better. And then, see, like, I'd rather have a 3/2 for 4 than a 4/2 for 5. As crazy as that sounds. And this is going to have some upside in that it is a little bit of hate against elves. And we definitely pass an elf deck, so it's not unreasonable. I like this. Out of this cycle, I think Wild Infusion's pretty solid. I mean, getting a whole threat out of it and a card after it fixes for you and gives you a charge is pretty sweet. I think Chill, we may just throw a Chill in our deck because we need to turn on Evoker. I don't know. Sounds kind of bad. Also, this cycle, making spiders is coming back and forth. We actually probably could have played 2 or 3 Brood Bounties. I think we only saw 1. I think I would have pieced that together. But, yeah, so we're a Spells Matter Spider Generation deck that really, really needs removal. Nothing's in here, but guess what? We'll splash. Dun, 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 dun. Angel of Judgment, thank you very much. It's everything Spiders wants, and 6 toughness. Flight. covers up a huge gap, and inevitability. So when another card you control enters a crypt from your play, each opposing champion sacrifices a card. So we have lots of ways to throw cards into our crypt. We have direct mill, we can mill ourselves, which we probably won't do. And then we have action cycles, and then we have all sorts of stuff. So making our opponent just sack off all their stuff is good. Creating a big stabilizing threat so that you can just push that advantage without dying is great. Though it is kind of scary blocking with him because you're kind of wondering why. And he's so good. But super splashable. I consider this card a bomb. I've never played against this card and didn't just instantly have to take like 5 minutes and just be like, what the hell, man? How am I going to deal with this? That's only a sign that it's a pretty good card. And it's a really good card. All right. Alright, so I would love this card, getting those spells back, triggering more Evoker triggers, maybe getting back an Azure Fang Decree, and just milling for 10, and just being like, what, dude? What are you going to do about it? This is going to be more consistent. We need removal, and it already turns on what we want to turn on, so it's not, in my opinion. Here's the deal. I saw so little removal pack 1 that I don't expect to see a lot this pack at all. So even though Cyclone Shaman is, I think, arguably a better card because it could bring back Skitters and blah, blah, blah. And we need spells for synergy. We also mainly need spells. Specifically, we need spells that kill stuff. So that's why we picked Vampire Kiss. Okay, so if we don't instantly lose the aggro, we have a pretty insane late game. A bunch of spiders dying, coming back as 2/2s that nerf our opponent's stuff. Anyway, Grunskith, if you've never played with it, it's super insane. It's kind of busted. It gives you so much control over your opponent's stuff, and it creates such an overwhelming board eventually. That's a little hard to lose. It's slow and clunky, which is the downside, but it's right at home in a control deck, which is basically what spiders are. Honestly, I would probably be more excited about a Paraphagy right there, because I know we're going to win the late game with all this spider generation, but I don't have any way to deal with big, scary stuff. So we could lose round 1, but we have a great deck, theoretically. Vampire Kiss, sweet. We already talked about why. It means I don't have to play stupid things like Chill or Battle Chant, or Renlock goes up a little bit in value because the likelihood of hitting an action, it goes up. Though, then we got to think about splashing too. There's a lot of double threshold in spiders, which makes splashing something very hard. So we may not get the splash. We should probably maybe pick up an infusion device if one's floating around. Though, who knows? That may not be possible. Hey, look at this. So what do we want? Super Enabler? I think we're pretty good on Enabler. This card's big, though, which is pretty nice. Like, what are we doing long game against, how are we stabilizing against mid-range threats? Normally Hatchery does it, but honestly, this card is so good. I almost like it better than Eremite, because it just buys you so much time. And Renlock, Warlock of Atir is mentionable. It kind of helps you win faster with spiders, but it's more of a sack card because it can turn on, sack synergies and create big threats out of nowhere super fast. It normally doesn't end up making the cut, but I've never cut in a Zac Web Guard unless I've had 7. That being said, the 4/6 that makes 6 spiders is pretty good. This deck doesn't terribly need it theoretically. And I mean theoretically because a lot of our activation is going to be based on spells or Venom synergies, which we're playing quite a few Venom. Shouldn't be hard, but you never know. I may just actually cut the Apprentice. I don't think we're going to play enough spells. I'm a little freaked out. So anyway, we just brought up that we need an answer. Mid-range, that would be Vicious Vivisector, does a fine job. We need Mill, too, clearly. This is a good stabilizer, and this is a little win more, but very powerful if you have room for it. I'm going to do something a little crazy here and take the Vivisector just because we're not going to get the Mill. The Death Touch is a better card. We need something that can trade. with 7/7 dinosaurs, basically. Um, but Nizak Webguard, 2 of them, get in my deck. Means we don't have to play this poopy card. Can already tell we're not going to play the Renlock. And then I really want to play Angel of Judgment. Probably only need the, well, 2 sources would be perfect for the Angel of Judgment. 2 sources of Diamond. We don't, but that would put us at an 8-8 split, which is kind of bad, but serviceable. This is interesting. Necrophet is probably better, but this card is just so perfect for a deck that I mean, we don't need a 5/3 that comes back later. We just don't. This deck wins with 1/1 unblockables. So it needs mill, it needs stabilization, and it needs generation, right? So anyway, feeling really good about 3 web guards. I think whoever was picking the other spider cards either undervalues it or is playing a spider sub theme. I don't know. So when you don't get removal, I guess that means you have to play counter spells. We'll sideboard it. If we play like super crazy, oh my god, we can't ever win because we can't deal with this card. If we're gonna suffocate as like a corner case, maybe we can deal with it. But then we have to like play that whole guessing game. Or did he draw it? Can he play it? Oh my god. Anyway, removal is way better than counter spells. Long story short. But we got generation and spades. No mill for me, man. There's definitely like some competition somewhere. Venom. A lot of venom. A lot of generation. A little bit of mill. And no removal. Alright. This is going to be tough. Not going to lie. Yeah. Sideboard flyers. Okay. Nothing? What do we want to hate? This card potentially poops on us the hardest, especially because we don't have any way to deal 3 damage, and if we get spammed out, that's going to be the card that kills us. So we'll hate that. And woohoo! Alright, so we got some classic set 3 cards that go with our super synergy fast set 4 cards. I don't know if we're going to play Angel of Judgment. I don't know. It's like splashing here is going to be tough. And making 2 cuts is going to be tough. And then playing an 8-8 base is going to be tough. Especially now that we got that. So anyway, this is going to be our mill. It's going to have Venom Allegiance because everything on our deck is a Venom. Except for the little flying alligator that shoots lightning out of its tail. Not sure exactly what that is. But yeah, we just kind of... This isn't a perfect deck. It's definitely viable. It's good enough to win a tournament. But mainly the flaw, the mill's fine. The mill's just fine. We could mill up to 8, 11 cards. But it's done in bursts, which is typically better than just doing 2 a turn. Like, and it's done without. It's done with value. Like this will make spiders and do it. This will create a troop and mill. So it's a little better than just playing the 2/5 and doing 2 a turn. Though that's kind of the classic way that you win. Lunacy is like sometimes worth a card, sometimes not. But that being said, I'm not complaining about this deck one bit. I think the web guards are going to be the all-star. When all is said and done, just being able to prevent races from happening, and us just being able to do persistent damage. Oh, I have 8, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14 points of mill, if you want to count them as points. And I have 27 cards. Alright, so I can't... With my curve and everything, I can't do you. Just can't make sweet love to you tonight. Oh god, that freaked me out after I saw the picture. Bad analogy. Bad metaphor. Anyway, I can't include you. It's not you, it's me. You're amazing. Trust me. I've tried to do cute things in spiders. I've drafted this deck so many times that I feel like I know what I'm saying when I say I can't afford to splash a card. Like it basically comes from experience of ever diverting from the 9/9 split in resources, blood, sapphire, and just getting punished. Just punished like every single time. And the reason is this. Let's show our cost. Um, double threshold requirement, turn 2. Double threshold requirement, turn 3. Double threshold requirement, turn 5. Wait a minute. Okay. Alright, so normally, because you're playing Eremites and stuff, you have like double Sapphire and double Ruby early, which pretty much means you want to play 9/9 to hope for consistency. Um, but okay, so we play eight blood. What happens? Occasionally, well, pretty consistently, we're gonna have 2 Tormentors or a Vampire Kiss or a Splitter of Bullcrog or some early blood drop, and we're not gonna be able to play it because we're only playing 8 sources. Like, I mean, 10 if you want to almost have a very high probability of having that shard in your opening hand. 9 is for the most part good. Is serviceable. So I mean, 8 is serviceable. 9 is probably ideal. But so say we go 8. Say we go 9/8 and we play one diamond. Well, 50% of the time we're going to draw the judgment without the diamond, and the diamond could be anywhere in our deck. So it's going to be a dead card a lot. So depends if you want to splash one card, you want 3 sources. There's some articles out there justifying that with math. You're just going to have to take my word for it. But and also, like, I don't feel as bad passing the 3/3 Death Touch because we did get the Vile Fang, which is pretty awesome, especially with how quick you can make spiders. You don't feel as bad sacking them off because spider generation has gotten so quick in set 4. Okay, moving on. So I don't really see a reason not to play 9/9, even though we our kind of choke point is turn 3, so we know we want to play 9 diamond. But I feel like we're going to be semi okay playing 9. I still feel like we need to play 9 blood as well. Give this guy flight. Wow, flying zombies sound pretty good, doesn't it? How about million zombies? Oh, a million zombies is way better. Oh, a million zombies is way better. Ooh, I may even actually be able to cut the mill. I just kind of auto picked the -2/-2 major ability, but oh god, million zombies is so good. Million for 4, forget about it, dude. With all these fast spider generation, ugh, that is so good. Single threshold requirement, oh yeah, that is sweet. Okay, we need to make a cut. We need to make 2 cuts. That sucks. It may be our 6-drop frontier. Well, okay, I think we can cut some mill. I don't want to cut you. Why? Because we have to live, and this being a 2-drop and it having 2 toughness and 2 costing 2 with a little bit of mill, maybe it brings some spiders with them into play. It's a good stabilizing effect. Now, with Grunts and these 2 guys, I don't really feel like I need it as much for mill purposes. And he's not a Venom, which means he's going to slow things down occasionally. It's a little complex. Skitter's great. Skitter's going to be played for free often. I mean, if we're playing 18 shards, I only have 1 6-drop. I mean, come on. Gotta have some 6-drops, right? It's a lot of shard investment. Getting... So this is like another reason why we can't play Judgment. It's not clear what to cut here. Like, it's a pretty solid base. I can't... This is probably the weakest card, but the thing is, I need that stabilization. I need to be able to trade up with big things, you know? This is mill. This is key. This is mill and generation. Difficult. Maybe this guy's... but this has 1/3 for 2. That's perfect spider stats. This may be too cute. You know what? Okay, so how many spells do we have? I figured it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. We have 4 spells, so Evokers are almost out of here. Is that really all we have? Maybe we can count this as 5. Maybe even 2, 3 spells, because it's going to come back quite a bit. That being said, I don't think it's enough. So do you play any Evokers at all? Okay, well, how is our generation? That generates... This generates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 generators. That is like crazy above average. Alright, so we got a crap ton of generators. You also cost 2 on turn 2, and you're not going to do much in an average game, and you're super fragile. Alright, Malvokers. Alright. Okay, so that was actually easier than I thought. So what do we do? Did we play 18? I know we just had that big conversation about 9-8 split and everything. Or do we have a better card than Splinter Bokrog? Let's see. Is it time for the Angel? No, well, maybe we can go 9-8 now. Because we don't have any double threshold until, well, turn 3. And you do kind of want to get this card online as fast as possible. And then this is the turn. Okay, so we still want to play 9, I believe, Sapphire. And then we have a heavy requirement for early blood. So 9-9 is pretty safe. Let's see if there's any thing we just would love to have in this deck. Bleed Out, I still believe, is a sideboard card. Maybe it's a mistake. I mean, if we knew our first round opponent was going to be in Wild, then it'd be pretty sweet. But there's a lot of cheap, early things and sack outlets that aren't that big of a deal. I think this guy's pretty sweet because our removal sucks. And our space stats, our power stats are kind of low. This could end up being kind of useful. But there's nothing I want to cut for it. I think this deck is pretty much says I can deal with like Spirit Eagles and some aggressively costed flyers. And then other than that, I can, for the most part, stabilize for a while. And then I'm going to be able to outreach against the spiders. That may not happen like that. I kind of want to, if they didn't nerf Ozen's stats or health so much, I think it would have been a pretty good pick now that set 4 is around because Mill has gotten worse. Just in case you don't get the Mill. Because Mill is essential in spiders. It's just essential. But honestly, we're kind of like, we have that potential to make so many spiders so quick and just keep my opponent's board tapped that I think it's fine. Anyway, one reason I can see how this deck loses. I can see how this deck wins. I don't know. I guess that's just what a well-balanced set is. Every deck has its vulnerabilities. But yeah, we're gonna go 9-9. I have too much experience getting punished for going 9-8. Even though if there was a time to do it, you could justify only playing 8 sources of blood. But I mean, how many opening 7s? Like, let's go do a test draw. Look at that. So, well, that didn't help support my hypothesis. Let's do our new hand. Okay, so here we go. What do we do? Well, that's a bad draw for blood, but it's kind of bad too. That's actually not horrible. It's a pretty good draw. Yeah, this is pretty good. Oh, but we're playing 9-9, so I'd have to take one out. I don't really want to do that anymore. I think you guys get it. I don't really want to have to test my theories, okay? I just want them to be unchallenged and supported. Just kidding. I don't know. I feel like I'm splitting hairs. 9-9 feels safer to me. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe that's something I need to change now. But that's what I've been doing for spiders since day one, and don't have a whole lot of reason to change it. Even though, like, mathematically, I think, yeah, maybe. Because we're 60-30, but we have the double requirements for Azure Fang, and we want to play that early. So I definitely don't think playing 8 Sapphire is correct, even though we're so heavily weighted in blood. But cards cards that really want to be, well, yeah. So anyway, you want to play this on curve, double threshold, and you want to play this on curve, right? So that's why I want to play 9. And then I just have too much blood to justify 8. So that's my summary. Anyway, I hope you guys like this. If you have any questions, post questions, comments, concerns. Sorry it's 2 spiders in a row. It's just kind of the way the cookie crumbled. I definitely think like there was enough decision points in this video for it to be useful to watch if you're new or whatever. But yeah, I know I've gotten a little bit of flack for posting duplicates. I'll just try to correct it by just posting more. How about that? If you don't like this one, maybe you'll like the next one. But thanks for watching. I'll see you at the tables.